All the tempting sweets and treats that are around this season, isn't it nice to know that you can make one of the old classics healthy, pumpkin pie? And this one is even healthy enough for breakfast. Hi Kay, thank you for coming back to cook with us again. And today you brought Jessica with you.
Yes.
Hi Jessica. And Jessica, you're a chef at Waldo County General Hospital? Excellent. How are things in the dietitian world?
Excellent.
I have to tell you, I'm so excited about having pumpkin pie for breakfast. When I was a kid, we had pie for breakfast all the time, and I thought I was getting away with something, but now that a dietitian tells me it's okay, no more guilt when I feed it to my kids.
Absolutely not. This is the most wonderful recipe. I came up with this recipe a number of years ago because we had a big, I mean big, candy roaster squash from the garden. And I'm like, how am I going to use this squash, all this squash, in a way that my children will enjoy it, but it will be healthy for them? And so what we did was we started with a good whole grain crust. And so this crust has some white flour, but this flour that she put in first is a white whole wheat. It's just a different color of whole wheat flour.
Is that unbleached, or how is it?
The white whole wheat is 100% whole wheat.
Oh, okay.
So then we added some oats, some wheat germ, some wheat bran, a little bit of salt, and we stir that up together. All the dry ingredients, we stir it up together.
And where do you get wheat germ?
And you can get that at the grocery store or at the co-op.
Excellent.
And I know that you can get both of those things in quantity, like bulk quantity at the co-op.
Wonderful.
And so then we're going to, this is another trick to it. We're using oil instead of shortening. And this is canola oil, which is good for you. And we are, it's a half cup of oil. And we wanted to show you how we do this, because what you mix the milk and the oil together in the cup, and it's a half cup of oil, and then it's a scant cup, half cup of milk, so that when you mix them together, it is a scant cup full. When you put it into the dry ingredients, you want to add it all at once.
Okay.
And so you add those ingredients all at once, and then you just stir it together.
Huh. No need for a pastry blender or anything.
No
You
need
just
for a
use a
pastry
spoon.
blender. It's really easy.
Excellent.
And this is the
Nice.
coolest pie crust dough, because you can just do anything with it.
Okay.
And
What about like pot pie or something, quiche or something like that? Could you do
it's
that
excellent
also?
for that.
Great.
And actually, this is a two-crust recipe. We
Okay.
went ahead and made the whole thing because it's just easier to have plenty of dough. And then with the leftover dough, you can make a little fruit pie with it. Or if you wanted to double the recipe, it would make 3 pumpkin pies with the one crust.
Oh.
So that's how we do it. Now, Jessica's going to dampen the counter just a little bit before she spreads out the wax paper, because when you roll out the crust, you need to have that, the wax paper needs to stick to the counter.
Oh.
And so the dampening of the countertop helps the wax paper to stick to it. And then you just put your dough on the wax paper, and we've got a rolling pin, and you roll out the dough between the wax paper.
All right. So we only have a few more minutes. So should you and I start making the filling while
We'll
she's
start making the filling.
Good. Wonderful. And just so you know, everybody, the recipe is available on our website. So if you didn't catch all the quantities, we will have all of that right on the website. Would you like me to
Now
run
this is the next trick. We're going to blend together some milk and some dates.
Oh.
And and the other thing we need to do is we need to pop this butter into the microwave for just about 30 seconds. And I said butter, but this is not really butter. This is margarine. And for this recipe, we use Smart Balance margarine, which is a margarine that has healthy fats. And we add a little bit of molasses. Now, this is the interesting part. You see, this is not a lot of molasses, just a little bit. And the molasses in the pie kind of cuts the flavor of the dates, so that when you eat the finished product, it does not really taste like you're eating dates. It tastes like you're eating a a pie that has been sweetened with sugar, really.
So are the dates to sweeten, or
The
what
dates
are
are
the
to
dates for?
sweeten.
All right.
And also, of course, dates are very good for you. Dates are high in fiber. They're very high in potassium. And so, and magnesium. They're high in magnesium. So you can just pour that right into this.
All right.
And if we run out of time here, I think you will at least get the gist of this. Now, we have eggs.
How many eggs?
And for each pie, it's 3 eggs.
All
We're
right.
kind of doubling this recipe because we have a very large pie crust, and we wanted to make sure we had enough to go in there. And then we add a little bit of oat flour, and that thickens it up just a little bit. And then we can blend this all together. And when Jessica gets done with the I tell you what, we're doing this for television, and because we're doing this for television, we went ahead and baked a pie ahead of time. So we'll take that already done pie out of the oven.
All right, let's let Jessica go ahead and keep mixing and pouring, and you
Okay.
and I will pull out the finished one.
Okay.
Oh my goodness, this is so beautiful. Oh,
And this is the finished pie. And it may look a little bit darker than some pies that you've seen before, and that's because of the dates and molasses in it.
It smells
And-
delicious.
Yes, and so
I'm gonna grab a pie server so you can cut me a slice because I am hungry.
going to eat it, right?
Absolutely.
And you can just pick it up with your fingers, I'll tell you, because we're going to cut it. And as you can see, Jessica's putting that into the pie shell.
Oh, it's nice and
And I'm
thick.
telling you, the reason we call this pumpkin pie for breakfast is because when I made this for my children, they ate it for breakfast. And because I had such a big squash, what I did was I cooked the squash and I froze it, all this squash in the right amount for 2 pies. And all winter long, whenever they wanted some pie, I just would take the little package of squash, and you can use pumpkin, squash, or sweet potato for this recipe. And I would take that amount out of the freezer, and then it wouldn't take me very long to make some pies, and they would eat it for breakfast. Sometimes they'd have a piece of pie and maybe a bowl of oatmeal.
This is really good.
You like that?
So you said pumpkin, squash, or sweet potato. Anything
Yes.
will work just as well. Oh, this is very, very good.
You like that? And my children loved it, and I never had to say you can only have 1 piece because everything in it is so healthy. You've got your milk and your eggs, you've got your protein, you've got your whole grain, and you've got the pumpkin with all of the vitamin A, and you've got lots of fiber. The dates is like a fruit. So it's a complete meal in 1 pie.
Excellent. This is absolutely delicious, and it tastes exactly like my grandmother's pumpkin pie. Thank you
Great.
so much.
I'm glad
this
you
is
liked
wonderful,
it.
and I will be taking that home with me. Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a great day.